I talked to you yesterday.
Good. You are fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes. A great host. Show is radio. Listen to his show.
Absolutely. 95.5.
One mic. All I need is one mic. That's all I need. If I become president, the era of nation building will be brought to a very swift and decisive end.
Oh, I say it again. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy 2026. Shelley Winter Show. No one reset the video, so it still says Eric Von Hessler. It's okay. We're going to keep going through it. We're going to do it. I'm not going to waste any time. Coming up at 7:19 when we come back, we're only here till 8 o'clock tonight, so we're just going to do we're just going to have my exclusive interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I have to start here, my friends. I woke up Saturday morning to a text about 6 o'clock in the morning. What's your guy doing now? I said to myself, huh? What are they talking about? And I looked it up, and we snatched a sitting president from his palace, from a military base, daring. Nobody lost, no equipment lost, which is very fascinating to me when I hear Marco Rubio say no lives lost, which is a very good thing, and no equipment lost. I'm like, how does that equate to, like, that's the same as lives, equipment? It's neither here nor there. So I looked, and I said, oh, you know what? Who cares? I'm not a big fan of Maduro. I'm not really pressed about it, one way or the other. I get it. To Trump's credit, unlike other presidents, Bush, Obama, and every other president before them, they didn't do it with the CIA. They didn't do it covertly. They didn't make it seem like it was a coup by the people of Venezuela. They did it. He just went in and snatched the dude. Good for him. But then, what really set me off all weekend long were a number of people who I stood with, over six of them, rallies across Georgia, Macon, Rome, Dalton, all over the place. That when Trump said, no more foreign interventions, America first, we're going to take care of American citizens, every single person cheered. Every single last one of them. I remember like it was yesterday, 90 days ago, where people called into this station and this show specifically. And they said to me, well, Shelley, welfare is not, if you can't afford a child, then you shouldn't have a baby. I'm not paying for someone's welfare. You said that. Now those same people I see all over Facebook telling me that economic prosperity is good for Venezuela and we need to support it so Venezuelan women can have welfare. I'm sorry. I remember when people told me that their neighbor signed a contract for a loan from the federal government of which they pay taxes or their parents pay taxes into, and they took out a loan to go to college. The government sold that loan. The people who bought that loan put interest daily on that loan, and people told me, no, my tax dollars should not go to helping your neighbor. They signed a contract. And those same people this weekend told me that it's okay for a hedge fund or Wall Streeter or a banker or oil company to get benefits at the point of a spear. And I thought to myself, these people are nothing but liars and hypocrites. Not the president. The president, I understand what he's doing. The Democrats, I don't care what the Democrats have to say because the Democrats hate anything Donald Trump does. Donald Trump sneezes, they say, oh, you sneeze wrong. Donald Trump sneezes and doesn't cover his mouth. Oh, you didn't cover your mouth, Donald Trump. I don't care about the Democrats. I'm not going to take a whole segment to tell you how bad and hypocritical the Democrats are because we already know the Democrats are bad and hypocritical. I'm starting this show in 2026 on the Shelley Winter Show from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. to tell you how hypocritical you are. How hypocritical you are. You don't care about your neighbor who needs help from the government to support their children and put food on their tables. You won't support that, but you'll support hedge funders and Wall Streeters going into a country to make money. But you won't support your neighbor. They signed the contract, Shelley. I took a loan out for my pickup. Why can't you pay back your loan? But you're letting these people take loans and use the point of a spear to make more billions and billions of dollars. One guy said to me, oh, this is a great one. One guy said to me, at least my gas will be lower. Gas still hasn't gone down. But you believe your gas will be lower. Look, my principle is this. I get it. I can make an argument about petrodollars and gas, oil bought with U.S. dollars. And the moment you say that you're going to sell oil in some other denomination or some other currency, your head is on a platter, a la Gaddafi, a la Allende, a la Maduro. I can go into all of that and I can break it down for you, but it make no sense because you're going to support it anyway. Because it's not about the dollars. It's not about the drugs. We took out Noriega. Noriega was the biggest drug dealer, according to the Bush administration. It was the biggest drug dealer ever in the history of drug smuggling. We took him out and more cocaine came into the country. So miss me with the idea that this is going to stop the drug flows. You know why? Because American people love their drugs. It's never going to stop. Your nation building. And your nation building at the behest of the oil companies, the hedge funders, and the Wall Streeters, and the currency traders. Period. End of story. But there's another little-known factor about what happened this weekend. And many of you missed it because you kind of don't see the world like this. And what I'm about to tell you is going to be a shock to you. And you're going to call me a race baiter, and you're going to call me all kinds of names, but it's there. It's true, and it's real. All of these countries, Bolivia, Venezuela, Brazil, all of these countries, it's not about communism versus capitalism. It's not about that. It's about the indigenous people who happen to be darker skinned than the colonists, which happen to be more Spaniard, more light skinned, more white. That's really what it's about. And it's not about the race part about it. It's not, they don't care about that. They care about the money. Always remember, whatever you want to say it's always about the money. But the people that are cheering in New York City and Little Caracas in New York City and here in Atlanta, in all these Venezuelan communities all over in Florida, they all happen to be long black hair from Spain, descendants of people from Spain. And the people that Chavez, the people that Maduro, these people all happen to be the indigenous people of these countries. And that's the fight that we're entering into because we want the money. See, it's not about China and Russia and all of this stuff. It's about class. It's about color. It's about skin color. It's about race. It always is, but it's always about the money. We can't have those people controlling the money. We can't have those people in charge of the oil. It's not about them being communists. Who cares about that? If it was all about communism, we would have gone into China a long time ago. We would have gone into Russia a long time ago. We'd go into every single communist country that we always did all the time. We'd still be doing it. No, it's never about that. In these countries, it's about color and access to the money and the supply chain. We can't have those people controlling billions of dollars in supply chain. Can't have it. It's got to stop. I don't care. I'm an American. I want cheaper gas. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you I care about the Venezuelan people. Just like I'm not going to tell you I cared about the Ukrainian people. Just like I'm going to sit here and tell you I care about the Taiwanese people. China's going to take Taiwan. Russia should go into Ukraine and obliviate every single Ukrainian, take over the land. You know why? Because Putin doesn't want NATO on his border. But when he said that, you said he was a Hitler. He was going to continue across Europe. That's what you said. And anybody like me who said, no, that doesn't seem like to be. It seems like he doesn't want NATO on his border. You said, oh, you're a Putin supporter. Now you're saying, hey, we don't want Russia in our Western Hemisphere, so we're going to take out Maduro because he's with the Russians and the Chinese. So what is the difference? You're all hypocrites. Every single last one of you are hypocrites. And you know what I say? I love hypocrites because it allows me to talk on the radio. But let me say this to all of you hypocrites. Tell me the truth. Don't tell me you care all of a sudden about the Venezuelan people when you didn't even want those people here 2 months ago. Tell me it's about the money. And it's about your love for Donald Trump and every decision Donald Trump makes. Donald Trump told me at several rallies, no more nation building. I took him at his word. You just went into another country for the oil companies, the hedge funders, and the Wall Streeters. And the European Spaniards. Shelley Winter Show. Happy 2026, my friends. We'll be right back with my exclusive interview with MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene.